Hello and Assalamualaikum to our lecturer Dr. Nur Haiza binti Nordin and my fellow friend. We are from Group 9 AFT1093 Macroeconomics Lecture 2. My name is Siti Noaida binti Alimin and my metric number is A1980X67. Today we want to present about the effect of pandemic COVID-19 on economy. We have chosen Malaysia as the Asian country that discusses the effect of pandemic COVID-19 on the economy. Malaysia was formed in 1963 when the former British colonies of Singapore and the East Malaysian state of Sabah and Sarawak on the northern coast of Borneo joined the Federation. Malaysia is a country of Southeast Asia that are lying just north of the equator that is composed of two contiguous regions which are Peninsular Malaysia, Semenanjung Malaysia, also called West Malaysia, Malaysia Barat, which is on the Malay Peninsula, and East Malaysia, Malaysia Timur, which is on the island of Borneo. This country is famous for being one of the most multicultural nations in Southeast Asia. They have three main races which are Malay, Chinese, and Indians, and three main religions which are Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Next, I will explain about the Malaysia's economic activities. The Malaysian economy has changed since 1970 through an export policy of raw materials, namely rubber and tin, and this has become one of the strongest and fastest growing sources in Southeast Asia. The most important major producers in Malaysia are rubber and palm oil, exporting largest amount of petroleum and natural gas, and are one of the largest sources of commercial hardwood in the world. Malaysia has focused its self-sufficiency policy on rice and paddy production, which are the country's primary staple food and food crop. By the beginning of the 21st century, Malaysia has become one of the top palm oil producers in the world. The next point will be presented by the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Fatimah binti Hambali. So I will continue to the impact of COVID-19 to the economic growth. According to Jackson, economic growth can be measured by two: how to use true GDP and true GDP per capita. For example, if we focus on the question of the economic problem of the region, then the real GDP more level. The pandemic COVID-19 affected the economy through several aspects, we choose investment and export. According to the Sinar Harian, COVID-19 has affected investment in Malaysia. That is, the banking sector is experiencing big problem due to the economic construction impact of movement control order and the burden falling on the shoulder of bank following the implementation of the moratorium. This article say when bank fail to declare dividend will affect PNB income, and when PNB income decrease, its ability to pay better dividend to investor will be affected. In addition, exports are also one of the causes of economic growth. The consequence for Malaysia economic growth was severe. When Malaysian exports are less, this will also cause the Malaysian currency decrease. So now we can conclude that all Malaysians must work together to eradicate this COVID-19 pandemic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhanisah binti Maksum. My matrix number A19B0675. Now I would like to explain about the impact of COVID-19 on unemployment. As you know, COVID-19 or coronavirus is a virus that causes a variety of illness, from the flu to be more serious illness, and it can be died. So it can impact on Malaysian economy. One of the impact is unemployment rate is rising. This situation occurred because of production activities was declined, import and export of goods slowed while production costs increasing, and the reduction in aggregate demand is reduction in production. So firm had to reduce employees. Next, impact of Malaysian had to lose their job. This make it difficult for unemployment to get job. The unemployment labor force is able to contribute to the national economy, but fail to provide job to unemployment due to this pandemic. Therefore, there is a waste of labor resources in country. In addition, the unemployment losing their source of income. Unemployment who has no source of income cause social economy or living standard to decline. When the standard of living decrease, so does the purchasing power of employed. This is because the unemployment do not have the ability to meet their wants. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Karenisa Nanda binti Muhammad Azad. My card matric number A19A1115. Today I want to present about the impact of COVID-19 to the inflation rate. The first is unequal distribution of the income. The fixed income group as opposite to the flexible income group when the general price increase. The real income for the fixed income group such as government employees will be decreased. The purchasing power of money for this group is declining. Second is increase in investment and production. This is because the effect of COVID-19, the entrepreneur will get the higher profit when the inflation occurs. Thus, undistributed profit will be reinvested to produce greater goods and service in the economy. The third rate of inflation is the amount of saving will be decreased. This is because the purchasing power of money will decrease when inflation occurs in the national economy. The 14th inflation rate is the deficit of the balance of trade. This is because the effect of COVID-19 pandemic caused a shortfall in the trade balance because the export were higher than the country import. Therefore, this is cause the demand for export will increase due to the depreciation of the national currency. And thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Noshafika binti Muhammad. Matric number is A19A0883. Okay, I will present about the impact of COVID-19 to the economy sector. Firstly is manufacturing sector. Before the COVID-19, Malaysia Industrial Production Index (IPI) was in a good shape as shown in figure 1 above. IPI Malaysia in February 2020 grew at 5.8%. Then the COVID-19 caused a PKP which is effective from 18 until 31 March 2020 affect the IPI of March 2020. However, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin explained that the estimated total loss in the tourism sector from January to February 2020 was RM3.37 billion due to coronavirus transmission, and the Malaysia gross domestic product (GDP) to decrease by 0.8% to 1.2%, a decrease of RM10.8 billion to RM17.3 billion. He said it was following the cancellation of tour package, and this affected those working in airlines and hotels. In addition, agriculture activities are categorized as essential service that are continued to ensure the supply of agriculture commodities, especially rubber and oils. Example in agriculture sector, rubber trees are in the wintering season every year from February to early May, where the rubber leaf will fall and the rubber yield will also decrease. Based on the estimate data provided in the figure 2 above, there is an increase in rubber production for March 2020, taking into account the wintering season and the increasing demand for latex. Moreover, the healthcare sector was also affected due to COVID-19. Before the pandemic of COVID-19, the healthcare sector could still be controlled as usual. Healthcare sector workers work as usual and the number of daily patients is not too many. After the pandemic COVID-19, there are not enough health workers and has more patients due to the increasing number of cases. And lastly is education sector. In the education sector, the pandemic had a hard impact as most schools in Malaysia were closed to stop the spread of COVID-19. The effect of the COVID-19 pandemic caused the government to implement online learning programs. Okay, next is economic policy implementation that Malaysia can use. Firstly is to control unemployment. Malaysia can use expansionary fiscal policy. This is using two tools of fiscal policy, which are reducing tax rate and raising the government expenditure. In other words, the government should adopt a deficit budget. When this is done, the aggregate spending may increase. Therefore, the production of output can be increased. Demand for workers may increase and the unemployment problem can be reduced. Besides, Malaysia can use expansionary monetary policy. This policy will increase money supply and total spending in the country. To reduce unemployment, government might use the following tools of monetary policy, such as reduce discount rate, reduce interest rate, government buy security in open market operation, and reduce required reserve ratio. Next, to control inflation, Malaysia can use contractionary fiscal policy. Government can reduce its spending or increase tax or both action taken simultaneously. In other words, the government should plan for a surplus budget. When government reduces its purchases on goods and on service, there will be less pressure on price level. If government increase tax, the money available for spending will decrease. Therefore, consumers reduce their spending on goods and service, and then inflation can be controlled using fiscal policy. Other than that, Malaysia can use contractionary monetary policy. That money supply will decrease. Therefore, the aggregate spending and general price level can be reduced. The tools of monetary policy to control inflation include the following: increase discount rate, increase interest rate, selling government security in open market operation, increase required reserve ratio, and increase special deposit by commercial banks. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Anis Fakihah binti Muhammad Muntasir. My matric number is A19A0525. I will talk about conclusion. In conclusion, COVID-19 is getting worse day by day. Positive cases are increasing day by day too. Not forgetting the number of deaths due to COVID-19 is also increasing. People's movement becomes limited because this COVID-19 is easy to infect people. The COVID-19 pandemic had a tremendous impact from many aspects. Among the sectors most affected during the occurrence of COVID-19 was the economic sector. Therefore, the government needs to take the initiative to curb the current problems. One way to prevent our government had to restrict economic opening up to ensure COVID-19 infection could be reduced. Only essential services will operate. For example, food and beverage, including for animals.